Are we ready to reimagine our learners and rethink our thinking about their education? Our job is not to prepare our children for an unknown future. It is to believe in their potential and act as such so they can create the future they desire. The learners do not belong to the future. The future belongs to the learners. Thank you everyone again joining for this discussion. And so my focus will be today on three essentials, what we call the three essential educating heart, mind, and a body. And this is basically a philosophy of Jamset Russell Children's Community. One of the important thing that I believe that any time when we think of reimagining of education, and it's the important is it begins with the internal shift of the mindset in the educators, policymakers, and family. Without making an internal shift inside the adult's mindset, I think it will be impossible to bring a change from the outside to the inside. But change really has to begin from the inside to outside. The first thing is anybody who comes to your school or you educate, you have to believe and you have to respect that every child is unique. They all are different. And that is a quality of every child. Like any plant, the gardener grows vegetables or the flowers, but he or she would believe that every plant, every flower is unique in itself. Same thing that we have to believe when you educated children. And second, we need to realize and we need to believe is every plant has a different needs, which again, we don't do in our education system. We do not encourage an education system. And we have so many excuses of why we cannot do that, and we don't do that. And if you are the good gardener, and you will know that every plant has a different needs. And some plants need a lot of sun, and some plants, they don't need a lot of sun. And some plants, they need a lot of water, and some, they need less water. So you will see that every plant has a different need. So while educating child, one of the most important, important thing for the educator is to, if we can able to see that every child is unique and every child has a different needs. The world is going to be so boring if we try to produce every children when they come to our school. So their different needs, because they have a different needs, and because they have a different needs, so they will have a very different contribution. Yeah. And then we have to remember the childs are not like a dead log. It's alive, it's full of life. And we need to work with them. It is a partnership that educators, parents, and the children is a partnership because they are full of life. We cannot impose on that. We cannot actually, go and do so much from outside. And we need to believe, and they are full of life. When we understand they are full of life, even that we can sometimes see their naughtiness, even when we can see sometimes when they make certain, naughty things, we could see beauty in that because that is a light, it's supposed to be light. This is the three lessons that we taught so often. And the first one is like, all these years that we emphasize on building a strong foundation to start on, building child's character, values, and attitude. Every small things we do it matters. And this is what we call the 7 elements of a growth, the fundamental elements of growth. And these are something, what we do in the Jamse Gasal is, instead of having a class 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so we will have a class of interdependence, and we will have a class of equanimity, we will have a class of gratitude, we will have the class of generosity, we will have a class of love, and then compassion and responsibility. When we think about the educate, we think again of a very small part of our brain educating, and we are not thinking of anything else. But most of the people in this world, I believe, like me, our fingers are not educated, are very totally uneducated. And I see somebody who sings so well, who is an amazing singer in our community we have, that I feel my throat is uneducated. I have an uneducated throat. And somebody who's amazing dancer, we have amazing dancer. When I look at them, I feel I have an uneducated hip. And somebody can play amazing football and they can do so many things as dance. I feel that I have uneducated feet. You see, even looking at my own life, I feel I have my fingers are not educated, my throats are not educated, my hips are not educated, my feet is not educated. Basically, 95%, more than 95% of Lobsang is totally uneducated, and I feel sad about that. And I wish that I do have this potential. If you have to write education, I should have educated my fingers. I can do so many beautiful things with my finger. I should have educated my throat. I can do much singer than my present singer. I can, right now I sing people just, they need air, what you call air plugs. I said, too noisy. And if I move a hip, everybody laughs, nobody claps. I wish I have an educated hip, so when I move, everybody will look at me and enjoy. I can make people happy. So these are the things I think. We as an adult, we need to change our mindset. When we educate a child partially, sometimes we succeed and sometimes we fail as an educator. We all know that. When we educate a child partially, which is like our the current education system all over the world, the most of the education system, if I'm not wrong, we are partially educating a child. And when we do that, sometimes we succeed and sometimes we fail as an educator. But when we educate whole child, we prevail, we succeed no matter what outcome. And we need to emphasize that. They might fail in math, but if we educate whole child, and they will always prevail, and they will always succeed. They might fail in our classroom because of the classroom expectation. They might not fulfill our educators, teachers' expectations, our parents' expectation, and they fail in the education system that that expectation. But if we educate a whole child, and they will succeed in their life. So this is what I feel so important for us to think.